Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Um, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Here we are again.
I know I'm all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we have got a lovely guest on, but before we introduce them, Georgia, who are
hmm
you reading?
Well, I have been reading. I'm holding up Josh Winning's Heads Will Roll, but it's not Heads Will Roll. It's Be Still My Unbeating Heart.
Oh, that's
Yes. So
exciting.
I have been lucky enough to um have a an early read of that. So I think next year is going to be the year of vampires. I hope so anyway.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. It's such an amazing summer book. It has everything. It has a mystery, romance, a really hot vampire, a really hot Italian detective, a talking cat, everything. So when it comes out, get it on your to be read list.
Well, I have been fortunate enough to get an early copy of To
Ooh.
the Death by Melissa Welliver, and I'm cheating a little bit because I read it in November, at the end of November, but it's still on my shelf looking at me. And I carried it around like a baby for a week. It was one of those books that I think I snuck a little bit while I was cooking, and
Yeah.
I read and dropped it in the bath. If you looking on video, you can see it's a bit battered. I think there's like food stains in here. I couldn't put it down. So that's out in March. I believe there's a very excellent quote on the front
Oh,
cover somewhere. Um,
possibly.
but I just loved it. It's dystopian, but it's like it's like a zombie movie.
Mm,
It's like if The Walking Dead had vampires in it
yeah,
and was on the Hunger Games.
right.
So it's a TV show where people are pitted against vampires. Some of them want to be there. They're the mainlanders who don't know what they're doing. And some of them don't want to be there but have to be there. And they're the islanders who do know what they're doing. So
Ah,
a couple who get matched up together and, maybe some romantic feelings start to happen in between.
bit of
It's
romance too.
yeah, it's just brilliant. So that's To the Death, and that's out in March.
Mm,
Yeah.
nice one.
What about
What have
telly?
you what have you been watching?
Yeah.
I have been watching Shrinking on Apple.
Oh, you've told me about that.
Yeah, and it's really good. We've all caught up now, so we've done all the seasons, but it's really easy watching. It's very funny, but it does have some quite serious themes, but the way they explore it is like really accessible, so it's not too draining. I think it's the best thing I ever seen Harrison Ford do. He's fantastic in it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he plays a really interesting character, and yeah, it's just a bit more lighthearted. There's no vampires or monsters or the upside down in this one, but I do recommend it.
Well, I'm watching The Vampire Diaries, so there is
Oh,
most of the above. I'm very slowly working my way through. But there is a Vampire Diaries convention in
next year.
Manchester next
Yeah.
year. And I really want my niece to come because I don't know anyone else who would appreciate it. But then
Yeah. Does she like it?
she did, and now she's like 19, so I don't know if she does appreciate it now. And then
Yeah.
she was saying to Cindy, I think it's fake. I think it's AI. I was like, no, it's
Oh,
real. Like
yeah.
I'm not that old.
Do you know what though? It is good to question everything.
I do
What is?
hate that we are questioning everything, but
Yeah.
we don't have time for that
No,
today.
no. Okay.
Okay, so who is our guest today?
So today we have, I feel like if someone's been on the podcast with us before, they come on again, they are officially a friend of the pod. So this
Yeah.
is friend of the pod, Annaliese Avery, and also we feel we have this tight bond with her because we were part of the debut group when all of our books came out at the same time, just as we hit COVID. So
Yeah.
we're forever bound by that. So a wonderful Annaliese Avery. She was shortlisted for the Undiscovered Voices Prize in 2020. Her middle grade novel, The Night Silver Promise, was released in 2021. And then after that, it was The Doomfire Secret. Her YA debut, The Immortal Games, came out in 2023. And then The Witcherleys, which I think is I think there's a follow-up to I think there's two.
Yeah.
Could be part of a trilogy possibly, but that was chosen for the Waterstones YA Book of the Month in May this year.
The
So
first ever one.
yeah,
She got the first ever
she
one.
did
Yeah.
get the first ever one. She's an absolute legend. She's just flying. And also she has amazing hair. So
Yeah. And
yes.
a garden that has no ghosts in. So you can go
Yes.
back and listen to that episode as
Yeah.
well. I can't remember what we talked about in that episode apart from her garden.
Yeah, it was, I think a police officer was it a police officer
Oh,
was murdered
it had a really
some
big history, didn't it?
yeah, it did. It did. Anyway, we're ready for her now.
Yeah.
Oh, here she is.
Hey, hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, so yes, welcome back. We do the format slightly differently now. So we're gonna ask you to tell us a little bit about your journey to getting published and how you started in writing. So would you mind sharing a little bit about that with us?
Yeah, of course. So I always say that I decided to become a writer the year that my son was born. So that was back in 2005. Because it was like an actual conscious decision of like, this is what I'm going to do. Um, Lots of people were there always like, yeah, when I was a little kid, I used to write stories, and that was not me. Although I was always very imaginative, I thought I was going to be lots of different things. So like growing up
Yeah.
in the like late 80s, I thought I was going to be an ice skater because Torval and Dean were like
Yeah.
really
Amazing.
popular, you know?
Yeah. I thought I was going to be an actor.
Yeah,
I thought I was going to be a teacher. Yeah, loads of different.
loads of different things. And it wasn't until I got to college and I was doing theatre studies, as well as like physics, because they go together really well.
Yeah, they're renowned for it.
Actually, I found it very helpful in writing, but it was during that time that I was like, actually, I don't know if I want to be an actor, but I really like directing. So that was like the thing that I was looking at. And then I went on and did an English literature degree, English literature and language. And it wasn't until after I'd finished that that I realised I'd done like a module on writing, that I'd carried on writing stories. And I remember the moment quite clearly. I was doing the ironing. Boring, repetitive task. I don't actually own an iron or an ironing board anymore.
No, neither do I.
Who does?
No, waste
So
of time.
My
My
child
daughter-
asked me what an iron was the other day. He was like, "What's an iron?" He's never seen one.
Is that child
Ida Golf
neglect?
Club? Well, when my eldest daughter, left home, she took all the irons and ironing boards with her because she's a seamstress. So,
Okay, that's fair.
Wow.
you
Yeah.
know, very helpful for her. But yeah, I was doing the ironing and I was literally like, I slapped my head. I remember going, oh, of course, this is what I'm supposed to do. Because all these
Oh.
stories are still.
Wow.
Luckily, I used this hand, not the one with the iron in it.
That could have been a different ending.
Yeah, and also a distinct possibility because I am the most clumsiest person. But
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
That's
What a
so
lovely
funny
story.
about the repetitive task because my first published book came to me when I was painting the fence. And I think sometimes just doing those boring, really mundane things is really, really helpful for your brain to organize itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of magic in being bored.
Yes.
I think that being, one of the things that I definitely had in my childhood was a lot of boredom. And so when you're bored, you're like, oh, I'll think of things to do, and your brain strays into interesting areas and makes interesting connections. So if I'm stuck, if I go for a little walk or a little, that always helps because I don't really, it sounds terrible. I don't really enjoy being out on a walk. My other half, he's a massive he's an outdoor sea person. He's a landscape photographer.
Oh, wow.
So he will like hike for miles. And I'm
Yeah.
literally like, oh, this is the best thing ever. There's
Yeah.
bugs.
Does he
I'm
wear
the same.
shorts? Is he one of those people?
He's literally like the other day we were out, he's put his trousers on in the last couple of weeks and he was like, it's so warm, I could have worn my shorts today. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm waiting for them to come back out, to be honest. But yeah, no, he's definitely, I always say his style is he dresses like a 5-year-old because he's always in shorts and Nikes and, t-shirts that say something like, if I can't take my camera, then I'm not coming.
Oh,
That's cute.
Bless him.
Oh, so what did you, once you had this like light bulb moment, what did you then do then? Had had some ideas in the pipeline? Did you enroll on a course? What was the next step for you?
Yeah, so like I said, I'd done a bit during my degree, so I'd
Yeah.
carried on thinking about stories. And then actually that was just when I was like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do with my life, and I've decided, said other half, got really, really ill, like the type
Oh.
of ill when the doctors tell you to make most of your time together.
Oh.
Oh
And
gosh.
so we had like three children by then, and we decided it was more important for them to spend time with Jason. So we started homeschooling, and Jason had had experience of homeschooling when he was growing up because he lived in America and England. And whenever he was in America, he would be homeschooled, and whenever he was in England, he would go to school. So we started homeschooling our children, and then recovery for
Mm.
Jason happened. So during that time, I would use writing as a kind of escape, like a me time thing.
Yeah.
And I worked on something, and I remember I sent it out, and I got a rejection, but I got a really lovely rejection. And it was just like, you've got good ideas, but you need to work on your craft. So I was like, okay, this is what I need to do. So then that's what I started doing. I started working on my craft and going to like different events. I joined a writers group, books, just devouring
Yeah.
books about the craft.
Mm.
Um, and it was a little while later that I found the Golden Egg Academy when it was very first started out. So I joined, and back in those days, you got an editor straight away. So my first editor was Bella Pearson, who runs Guppy Books now. And that was really helpful, just getting that feedback
Yeah.
from somebody who works in the industry. Um, and then, life happens, life be lifing. So was working full time as a library manager,
Yay,
and
libraries.
yay for libraries, keep them going. Um, and I did my master's degree during that time.
Oh,
And I
wow.
also learned how to become a children's book editor with the Golden Egg Academy as well. I did like an
Wow.
apprenticeship with them. So I think that all, I always say to writers who are starting out, you can't really teach imagination. You have to have that spark.
Mm.
But if you want to learn how to write, just write and then learn how to edit. That's the thing that you should learn how to
Yeah.
do, because editing, we all inherently know how to write a story. We're
Mm.
taught it from such a young age, like just in the patter of our conversations. Like, oh my God, this thing happened and then this happened. And, when we're retelling instances of what's happened in our lives, we just kind of know how a story plays out, the arc of a story. So once we've had that imaginative burst and we've written it down, we're often a little bit stuck, or we just go, oh, it's done now.
Yeah.
Don't have
Yeah.
to do any more. But really, that's when the work starts, is the editing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's half of being a writer, isn't it?
or
Taking
maybe
that
two
first draft
thirds,
and
I
yeah.
think. Two
I do
thirds
feel
editing.
like you get better at it.
Yes.
I feel like my edits, well, not all the time, but when you know that you've done it well, your edits tend to be less strenuous because you can put into play while you're writing all of those things that you've learned over the last few books. So that's nice when that happens. But yeah,
Yeah,
it doesn't always.
I just had a book that we sold that hasn't been announced yet, and we went straight to copy edit on it. It was like
Nice. Yeah.
straight
Wow.
through, which was really nice.
Yeah.
But I think it's having that, giving yourself that permission to edit, because I think sometimes people think, especially new writers, they read a book and they see it's all polished and it's all wonderful,
Hmm.
and then they write something and they get to the end and they're like, oh, it's not as good as the thing I've
Mm.
just read. But you work on making it good. I've got a little mantra that I say when I'm writing, because every time I write a new book, I'm like, oh my God, how do I even? I
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like,
It's
have I
Yeah.
so
ever written a
funny.
book in my
Yeah.
life? So my little mantra is get it writ, then get it right.
Yeah. Oh, love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Love
I
that.
mean, that's it. It just needs to be there.
Just needs
Mm.
to exist.
Just
That's
needs to be
another one of my
there.
mantras. It just needs to exist. And
Yeah.
then the other one is editing exists.
Yeah.
This just needs to exist and editing exists. So it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think a certain amount of confidence that comes from learning how to edit and learning to take feedback in a way that is um, productive and also like I always think of feedback as like if it's opinions at the end of the day, and depending on where you're getting that feedback from, like what your valid source looks like, depends on what you should do with it. So editorial feedback, when I'm getting things back from my editor, if there's something that I don't agree with, I'll often think, okay, what haven't I done? Like, what is it in the manuscript that I haven't pulled out, or I haven't explained? Because this makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So, what is it that I haven't shown my reader?
Yeah.
And then
And
track it
often
back.
it's like one sentence
Yeah,
just needs to be popped in at some point that you think, I knew that, but I haven't
I
written it
forgot to
down.
tell. I forgot to tell my reader that.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly. So was your debut the first book that you ever wrote?
No, so I think I'd written. I got to count up now. About seven
Mhm.
or eight books.
Oh,
So
wow.
so about five really short middle grades, and then two longer
Mm.
bits of fiction, um, and one disastrous picture book.
If you are not watching the
Oh,
YouTube, just go and watch it for that face that Annalise just
Yeah.
pulled because
That
she
face.
looked,
Yeah.
it was like PTSD.
Yeah.
honestly, hats off to picture book writers. I think it's the most difficult thing in the
I,
world. Like,
Yeah.
give
yeah,
me
I've,
120,000 words and I'm there. Give me
yeah.
like, what is it, like 10? 10 words? I don't know how many words you get. It's just,
I did a really fantastic picture book writing course with Right Mentor, and it was I can't remember who the tutor was, but she's fantastic. She's written tons of picture books, and I thought easy money. Just churn them out, and then with the PLR as well, they go in and out the library, so your quid's in, and then it is because I had to go at writing like two or three. One of them was called Bogey Brother. That's how bad it was.
Oh,
And
no.
I don't think I can ever show them to anybody. They were just awful and so hard to write, so
Hmm.
hard, So yeah, I feel when you did that face then, I
Yeah.
you
it
felt it
really spoke to me. Yeah.
too.
Because I wrote a Barrington Stoke book and it's essentially 18,000 words, but you are writing what you would normally do in a novel,
Yep.
but in that short. And I was like, and it was hard. And that's the most editing I think I've ever done to kind of get that down to make sure it made sense. And, it had all these characters in it, but they needed to be in it. And then essentially I kill everyone, like basically. And I remember sending it in thinking, oh, they're going to say I've gone too far and we need to pare some back. But they let me keep them all. I just had to take out one character who snuck off into the woods for a cigarette. So we changed
Right.
that into they snuck off to use their phone.
Yeah.
So no smoking, but murder was
Murder is
okay.
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's
mhm.
There was no murder in Bogey Brother.
Now
You'll be
maybe
pleased
that's
to know.
where it went wrong.
Yeah. Um, sorry, Annalise, we keep going off
No,
on
no,
a tangent here, but
I love a
you're
tangent.
so you were in because I was in Undiscovered Voices winner as well, and you were too. So what was it, 2020?
Yeah, so 2020, like literally right before the pandemic,
And was
I
that
kicked
the
in.
book? Was that the book that got you an agent that you got published with, or ha what happened there?
Yeah, so the book that I entered into, Undiscovered Voices, was at the time called The Invention of Night, and then
Mm.
became The Night Silver Promise. So it was the book that I secured my agent with and got my publishing deal with. And both my agent and my editor were they were judges on that
Oh
Undiscovered
wow! So
Oh,
Voices.
they got first dibs.
Yeah,
and
Ah,
I
they had their
know.
eye on you.
Yeah, I know
yeah.
your editor because we shared
Because we
an
shared,
editor. We
yeah.
did, lovely Yasmin. Um, and I know she is savvy, so she will have seen that and been like, mine,
Yeah.
that's mine, like
Oh.
immediately. But I think
But
she must have
she
acquired us at the same time.
yeah, it was about the same time
Yeah,
because it was just yeah, because novels came out around about the same time as well.
Mm.
yeah.
But yeah, Yaz popped in a preempt, cheeky little preempt, for the Knights of a Promise.
She's got
So
Oh,
style. Yeah,
yeah, and
yeah.
I'm working with Yaz on my current book.
yeah.
Oh,
Wycherley's.
No,
So,
no,
Oh,
nightclub.
of course.
Yeah.
So talk us through. So you've got the Wycherleys, which is your YA, which was Waterstone's inaugural book of the month. Amazing. Well done.
Honestly, the crying that
Oh,
happened,
I bet it was
like,
unbelievable.
yeah. So I was changed. This is my winter location for my desk next to the radiator,
Oh,
premium winter space. But during the summer, it's over the other side of my room next to the window, with some nice natural light. And I was literally changing everything around, and that's a little bit more difficult than it sounds because it's quite a small room, but it's got a sofa bed for my daughter when she's home from university, as well as my giant desk. So I was moving everything around. I was really sweaty, and this email came through from my editor, Ali, and Ali was like, "Are you about?" And it was to me and my agent. And my agent, Helen, she rang me and she was like, "I'm out and about. But I can phone in." That's my Helen voice. Helen is lovely, but for some reason that is just my Helen voice whenever I talk about Helen. Mainly because she tells me to pull up my good big girl pants nearly all the time and just get on with it, Annaliese, when I'm procrastinating. So she was like, "I can phone in." So we went onto this Zoom, and there's me like with bits of debris in my hair and stuff. And Ali said, "I've got some exciting news. What's the one thing that no YA author has ever had before?"
Oh.
And so we were like thinking, and Helen went, "Oh, I don't know. I can't think of anything," in her Helen voice. And I was like, "Well, I can think of one thing, but it's not a thing, so it's not going to be that." And she was like, "What's the one thing that you're thinking of?" And I was like, "Well, Waterstone's book of the month, but they don't ever give it to a YA." And she was
No.
like, "Well, Annaliese Avery, they have today." You know,
oh,
Oh,
that's
and
made me really
crying,
I know.
sobbing,
emotional. Yeah.
and then
Oh.
hysterical laughter. Like it's just a little bit hysterical. And then for
Yeah.
about at least a week afterwards, every time I'd think about it, I'd literally just go, "Ha ha," and then cry.
Oh. Oh,
Oh,
it's
so
fantastic.
exciting. And it was so
Yeah.
cool to see it,
Yeah.
Just the
in
most,
shops.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
stole a
They're
POS thing.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was just the most magical thing. And I'm not quite sure how it happened or why it happened, but I'm very, very grateful that it did because it was just brilliant. And so now every month, obviously not this month because it's December and they don't do a book of the month in December, but I go in and I buy them, and then I've got them all on the little all the YA book of the
Oh,
month. So I feel like I'm, as the first one, I need to
an
look after them.
exclusive gang. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool.
that is cool. So the one that's out now in
Yes,
January,
January.
because it's
Yeah.
January, um, it's number two, isn't it? It's book
Yeah.
two of the
That's
Wycherleys.
that's Wycherley's too. Basically in the first Wycherley's book, so setting it up, the Wycherleys is like YA Bridgerton but with magic.
Mhm.
So every witch comes into their magic on the full moon after their 17th birthday, and then they enter into the season of the witch, the magic
Oh,
as magical debutantes. And there's a really lovely, I'll quickly show you for the, if you can't see it, if you're not watching, I'll describe, probably inefficiently. But there's a wheel of the year at the beginning of the book that just takes everybody through all of the different Sabbats.
Oh,
oh,
So
I
we
love
gorgeous.
it.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
fantastic.
So we start everything at Mabon on the autumn equinox,
Hmm.
and that's when you have the presentation to the Princess Regent. And from that moment on, everybody has 3 years, all the witches have 3 years to find another witch to kind of tether their magic to.
Hmm.
So them and their magical tether can keep hold of their magic, because in this third age of magic, magic is disappearing,
Oh.
and you can't keep hold of it unless you form a magical alliance, a tethering with another witch. So tethers are made for lots of different reasons. You can make a tether with your best friend. You can make a tether with somebody who, when you perform magic together, it's good, strong magic.
Mm.
Or for political alliances, or you can form a tether for love. I think that's probably the worst reason to form a magical tether. I'm not going to lie. Like
Yeah,
as a person myself, if I had magic, I would not be looking to form an alliance with somebody who I might have a
just
crush on.
not, yeah, not
Oh, see, my
practical.
first thing is like, oh, wouldn't it be
Oh,
so
No.
nice?
And in the book, it's very lovely and romantic, but yeah. So Aurelia Wycherley, our main character, when she stands under the moon on the first full moon of her 17th year, she gets her magic, but she also inherits a family curse. And the curse
Oh,
means that whoever she performs magic with, it makes them really sick, like
oh
Oh,
just really
no.
ill. So nobody wants to tether their magic to a radio witchy. And the family curse was given to her ancestor Matilde by Hester Knightley. And she just happens to overhear Jules Knightley, his ancestor, saying that he might have found a way to keep your magic without having to tether. So the pair of them,
Oh,
they do a little bit of fake courting and have to find out how to keep Aradia's magic, but also what's happening to all of the dead witches that keep turning up.
oh,
amazing.
Yeah.
So book two carries on from there?
So book two, people have formed tethers. Now need to learn how to use their secondary magic. So they're off to Coven College.
Oh, I love it.
oh my
Amazing.
gosh. Yeah.
So where
Excellent.
they some very fun things happen in book one, where they uncover a secret henge, and as part of the uncovering of the henge, they have to form a coven of 12 witches in order to try and help, because there's this problem with magic and it drifting away. They're
Mm,
trying to help solve the problem of the drifting away of magic. Can they make it, can they keep hold of it? Can we revert it
okay.
back to the old magic that they had in the first age of magic?
Mm,
Amazing. Like
sounds
so
amazing.
much. Yeah, like
Yeah.
so many things packed in.
And I wore my, you can't see, but I'm wearing my planets
Nice.
knitwear that's got full moons on it and stars and stuff because I thought, it kind of, I thought you'd appreciate that
I
sort
do
of.
appreciate it, not
Yeah.
just from a magical standpoint, but
No.
also I'm
Yeah,
very into my astronomy, so
exactly. Yeah.
love it.
Yeah. Um, but did you come across any interesting research for the Wycherleys or anything else that you've written recently?
So when I write, I'm so as a person, just as an actual, human being, I am essentially a very, very lazy person. Um, if it was up to me, I'd probably just be sitting on the couch all day, or watching trash telly. But luckily, I have conditioned myself to be ultra productive and to have ambitious goals. But still, when I'm writing, I don't necessarily do everything up front. Like I usually say I write with a pocket full of vibes, so I don't plan what I'm writing.
That surprises me, actually. I thought you would have been a plotter, an outliner, someone who had that kind of full
Yeah, no. I
thing
tried
going
it
in.
once. It was really boring. So I don't do that anymore. So I think there are like three types of writer. So I think there are pioneers. So they're the people that literally like do zero planning and off they go and they just find out what happens. And then there are the explorers who are like somewhere in the middle. They know a little bit, they've heard about this land called Atlantis.
Yeah.
Plato mentioned it. They kind of know where they're going and off they go. And then at the other end, you've got the navigators, and the navigators are the people that sit there with the maps and they know exactly where they're going and where they're going to stop for their, lunch breaks and everything. So I feel like I'm probably somewhere in the middle because I do have, my pocket full of vibes. I kind of know what I'm going to be up against. And I recently heard Patrick Ness talking, and he said that he is a searchlight writer. So he has like a few things, and he imagines that there are like lighthouses along the way. So scenes that he wants to write towards, and he's got like a flash torch, and that allows him to see what's immediately in front of him as he
Mm,
walks towards these
That is
lighthouses.
the best way I've ever heard it described because that's exactly what I do.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
I have,
fantastic, isn't it?
yeah, I've got my main points that I know I need to get to.
Yeah.
I know my end destination, but I've got no idea what's going to happen in between until I start to write and then it just happens.
Yeah.
I think I have a broken spotlight approach and I go for,
Your
I-
batteries have run out.
yeah, and I go for like the most random just scene that pops in my head. And I think I need to write a book where somebody is roller skating. And then it comes out, it all ripples out from there. So which
Yeah.
I don't recommend, but yeah, I like that. I like the way you describe the explorer, the pioneer. What was the other one?
The navigator.
Yeah, I like that. And because this whole like, are you a plotter or a pantser thing is a bit like, oh, I don't know. And
Yeah,
like
and
you
it's
say,
also like one or the
yeah,
other. You can't
and
be
Yeah.
somewhere in
uh,
the middle.
yeah. And
Um,
when you said that you've conditioned yourself not to be lazy, I totally get that because I know that a lot of what I do is because I have to do it, and it's not my natural,
yeah,
strength
Hmm.
in life, but in writing as well. And I don't think I'm a natural plotter, but I force myself to because of how I have to manage my time, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and time
So,
management is like a huge thing for me. Again,
yes.
being an essentially lazy person, and also if I could, like when I was at school, if I could, like I could get by with doing the bare minimum and still get good
Mm,
marks. So I've kind of carried that into adulthood, which is not a very good thing. Like I should be trying to push myself more.
mm,
But I love doing writing sprints because I know that if I do 2 hours of writing sprints, so a 20-minute, a 30-minute, 40-minute sprint with breaks in between, I can get about 2,500 words done. If I do
yeah.
two of them in a day, that's 5,000 words,
Mm,
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm winning at life if I can trick and hack the system.
mm.
So I did
Yeah,
I
that
did
doesn't work for me. I wish I was a sprinter, but I'll get distracted in that break
oh,
and
okay. So I
you know,
invested a bit of time into learning about flow states. So there's this wonderful psychologist called Miha Csikszentmihalyi who wrote this wonderful book called Flow, and he looked at athletes and artists to see what got them into a flow state. And you've probably both been in flow states before. It's when you're writing away, and then all of a sudden you look up and you're like, "Oh my goodness, when did it get dark?" And
mhm.
I haven't
Mm,
drunk for at least 2 hours, and what's happened? Time has gone, but I've been just in my world writing. And there are different trigger points that you can use to get you back into flow states so that when you're writing, you can get back into that state of high efficiency really quickly. So for me, music is very important. So I remember years and years and years ago, I read that if when you're in a productive time when you're being productive, if you put a certain song on, like you notice you're being productive, you put that song on to listen to, and then when you put that song on you will get back into that
Ah,
that
that's
productivity.
cool.
So for me, whenever I need to crack on and get words done, Muse or Queens of the Stone Age, like just do it. I put those on and away I go, and I can be ultra productive. Because I think my brain goes, oh yeah, this is the songs that we listen to. These are the vibes we listen to when we're getting stuff done, and I don't have to listen to the actual music. It's just like a channel, like a conduit. And I've spoke to writers before who do the same thing with scent. So
hmm.
Joanne Harris, who wrote Chocolat, for example, she uses scent for getting her into her writing. So because she travels a lot, she has this wonderful thing called the magical desk that she takes with her, like a portable magical desk. And it's two little objects. And she puts them down on her desk to make a square. And then she puts her laptop inside it. And then she'll spray the scent that she has allocated to that work that so she changes scent each project that she's working on. She'll spray the scent around, and then that helps her to get into the writing.
Oh, wow.
And
I
yeah,
know, it's crazy.
although
Actually,
it
and
does work,
having read her books, you can kind of
Mm,
get like the whole, all the senses type thing.
yeah.
yeah, very
Um,
tangible.
That's really interesting. I've never used that for writing, but when I get really bad social anxiety and I'm really shy, and people say, "Oh, you're not shy," but it's because I've learned how to manage it as I've got older.
Yeah.
And I used to get into such a pickle about going somewhere new or networking or anything like that. And I always used to listen to I Have Confidence from Sound of Music,
Oh,
and it's such a great song, it and I just used to and after I listened to it I just think, yeah, yeah, that's me, I've got confidence, and it would just get me through a little bit. So
Yeah.
I can see that there's definitely something in that for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, it's quite amazing. I think tricking your brain into being productive is always great. So one of the things that I do to trick my brain into doing more is I give myself stickers, because essentially I'm still just 5 and I would do anything for a star sticker. So in my writing journal, if I'm first drafting, I would do little boxes, 1 box for every 1,000 words that I need to write. And then as soon as I've written 1,000 words, I get a sticker and I put it in the box. And there's, apart from the fact that you're getting a little dopamine hit from the actual reward of the sticker, I'm quite a visual person. I can visually see that I'm making progress on this book. You know, I can see that it's getting done, it's getting written, and I find that really helpful. And I like to keep stats because I'm really sad. So in my, I'll quickly show you my journal. In my journal, I also like write down how long. I'm going to do my nerd voice now. How long did I write for? And during that writing sprint, how many words did I do? So I keep a word log.
Oh, I do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it just helps you to see that you're making progress. And it also helps because, you know, I know what my output is over like the 20, the 30, the 40-minute sprints. I found that 60-minute sprints don't work for me. I kind of peak out at 40. So that when somebody comes to me and says, can you write me a book in this amount of time? I know that I can do it. You know, it's like, okay, how much time do I need to write this book?
That's really cool. And so Annaliese, I feel like you're a bit of a, I don't know, the way that you talk about all of this, and I've seen you on Instagram with like showing your records and everything. And I did a little course that you did for free that was, I can't remember what it was called. It was about
goal setting.
That's it. Because I just thought I need this in my life. And it was so useful. And I really admire the way you like approach it, and that this isn't something that's like, oh yeah, it's easy, I'm just minded this way. It's something that you've learned and embraced as you go along, because it's all part of the process, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed. And I think you have to find the things that work best for you,
Yeah.
like as you're going along. And not everything works for everyone. So I'm always trying new things to see, you know, oh, would this work? Would that not work? And it is like picking the things that work for you and then just like doubling down on them, going, okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes you stray, sometimes I stray, and then it's like, okay, well, I know what I need to do. If I find that I'm not in my journal,
Yeah.
because I do reflections in my journal as well. So, and you know, I'll write how things are going, and that just helps me to process everything as well. And I remember when I was writing the Immortal Games, I got to about 2/3 of the way through, and I was like, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever written in my whole entire life.
Oh no.
You know, no, Yaz is not going to want to publish this. It's just terrible. And I was doing something. Then when I was writing the Wycherleys, I had the same thing about 2/3 of the way through, and I was doing an event for the Immortal Games, and I was showing some school kids my bullet journals, because I keep every journal that I use. And I found that bit where I'd written in my journal, oh my God, this is the worst. Like, I'm terrible. And I was like, oh, okay, this is just part of my process. So now when I go,
that's what Georgia tells me.
Yeah, that's it. It's just part of the process, and you just got to go through it. Like when you think it's rubbish, it's like, now I go, oh no, it's really rubbish. Oh, good. That means I'm nearly done.
Yeah. But it's funny because you forget every single time.
Every time.
And I'll be having a moan to Georgia, and she goes, this is just part of your process, Cynthia. Like, shut up, Georgia. But she's right every time. I know.
Yeah.
And I think it's a really helpful thing to know your process.
Definitely.
Because again, like there's so you see other people doing it, and I've seen like YouTube videos and TikTok videos where people go, this is how you write a book, you have to do it this way. Whenever anybody is telling me how I ought to be doing something, I'm instantly like, are you sure?
Yeah,
definitely. But you know, we all have, that's one of the wonderful things about life, is that we are all different, and we all have different ways of approaching things and different ways of doing things. So trying different things and finding out what works for you, and then holding on to it and just going, it's okay. Like I've had writers, when I explain about how I write a first draft and then I throw it away. I delete the whole draft and then I start again. And I've had people say to me like, oh, that's not right. That's not the way you write a book. And it's like, well, no, that's not the way you write a book.
Yeah. It's shocking. I won't lie, but if that's how you do it, that's how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think throwing away a first draft would kill me. I just couldn't do it. But I know some people, Catherine Foxfield will write a book, won't she? Or she'll get most of the way through and then she goes, and just starts again.
Yeah,
Mm.
start
And I'm
again.
like, I couldn't, it would, no,
So
just
I
couldn't
always
do it.
explain the reason. This is my explanation of why I throw it away. Okay, so basically, my first draft is like making pasta. Okay, so I'm cooking some pasta. I've got my little story vibes. That's my dry pasta. I've stuck it in a pot and I've added the water as I've been writing the book. And I've got to the end and my story vibes have turned into delicious pasta,
Mm.
that's swollen up, filled the whole of the word count, and the water's taking up some of the space as well. I need the water to cook the pasta,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to dish that up to my reader. That's all the stuff that I was geeking out about. That's all the stuff that I found fun. That's all the stuff that I was like, oh, I'm going to stick some physics in here because people love physics. They don't. Um, so then I take my story and I drain it into the calendar, and whatever is left in my story calendar in my brain by deleting it is story.
Mm.
It's what's stuck. If I don't remember it, then it wasn't essential. If I don't remember it, then it wasn't
Wow.
part of the story and it
Makes
wasn't
sense.
integral to character development.
Mm.
So then I start again with my first draft. I stick my pasta into my pot, and that's when I add my sauce and my garlic and my mushrooms and probably a bit more garlic because I really like garlic. Sun-dried tomatoes, olives, whatever goes in, and then I serve that to my reader because nobody wants yucky pasta water.
No. So true. I love that. And it makes a lot of sense.
It does. It
Yeah.
also makes me so anxious that I can't even, like, I just have that feeling in my chest of, oh, no,
I mean,
it's crazy.
surprisingly, like the book that hasn't been announced yet, the one that went straight to copy edit, I did not throw that away. So I am kind of thinking maybe I've been missing a trick all these years. Um,
But don't you think as well that people talk about like what is and how do you approach things and all that sort of stuff. And it every single book you write is different and you're in a different place in your life. And
yeah,
it's coming from a different place a lot of times as well. So it is all about adapting
yeah,
to the story and to where you are at that point in
Yeah.
your life. So
definitely. Yeah. And
yeah,
our processes evolve,
yeah,
as we're writing things like Cynthia was saying earlier about as you get more books out there and you work with editors, you hone your editing skills, and then you don't
mm,
need to edit as much because you get those things that you'd missed before, you make sure they're in your first draft and you make
Yeah.
sure,
You can like
so
preempt things, can't you? You can
yeah,
think, right, I know that someone's going to ask this question. So let's just do it now.
let's just put it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, take the
yeah,
time to do that. But we start to do so there are if you think of writing as being in two different processes and you wear two different hats, so you do the imaginative bit and then you do the kind of slightly more scientific bit of editing. And so whilst you're writing, sometimes that little editing voice comes in and goes, oh, we should probably do this here because
Hmm.
otherwise. So we put it in. We start to just do it intuitively because we're learning our craft and we're getting better at our craft as we go along. So I think
yeah,
that we want to be like a willow. We want to bend.
yeah. Love that.
Yeah. Agreed. I
Um,
am. Oh, go on.
no, I was going to say, should we move on to questions from listeners?
Well, this is it. We've got some listener
Oh,
questions.
that's
Yeah.
exciting.
Mm.
So,
It's like being on Going Live or something, isn't it? Questions from, yeah, I'm
Questions
showing
from
my
the
age there.
viewers.
yeah, so we have some listener questions. So, we've got one from Prue, and she asks, how do you handle negative feedback or criticism?
Oh, okay. So I don't particularly like it when people tag me in it. I
Yeah,
think that's
agreed.
slightly rude. But I have to. I have a bit of a stoic outlook on life. Not stoic as in like, oh, you're a stoic person, but as in like stoicism.
Mm,
And so I'm very open to the fact that opinions are not facts. People's opinions are people's opinions, and people are very entitled to them. And if somebody didn't like my book that I've written, that's okay, because there have been books that I've read that I didn't particularly enjoy.
Yeah.
And firstly, I'm sorry that you didn't enjoy it, but I do know quite a lot about books. I used to be a librarian. So if you tell me what kind of books you do like, I will recommend one for you.
Good answer.
That's a very nice answer.
Yeah.
Because mine is, I'm not sorry that you didn't like it. Go read another book.
I mean, but also, if you didn't like it, you're not going to read my other books. And the people that did like my other books, that's who I'm writing for, because they're my audience.
Yeah.
So it is a bit like, I know what it's like when I've picked a book that unfortunately wasn't the book for me. And it's like, oh, I didn't really like this book. But that's okay. There are other books in the world. There are more out there. I'll find the ones that I like.
And it comes with the territory, doesn't it? You know,
but I never tag anyone in a thing. By the way,
no.
I DNF'd your book.
Yeah. Please don't tag authors in not nice reviews.
It's like pasta. Not everybody likes the same pasta dish.
True.
Yeah,
it's true.
Some people like the watery, terrible pasta.
I mean, it's a choice. Other people just don't like gluten.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah, I think it's all about reframing it, isn't it? And I think we are in a profession where we love our characters, and we love the things that we're writing, and we love what we're doing, and we put it out there, and of course we want other people to love it too. It's not always possible, but overwhelmingly people that want to read fantasy fiction are gonna look at that cover and go, oh yeah, that's a fantasy fiction book, and they're gonna pick it up and they're gonna love it, which they have. So so it's okay. You just have to shift, because we always hold on to the negatives more than the positives. So we just have to shift our thinking so that we're inviting our readers, not our critics, into the room with us while we're writing.
Yeah, need to let it go, don't we? Everyone's got their own kind of ideals, and your book is going to meet some people's and it's not going to meet others, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Not everyone likes Marmite.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm actually very in the middle about Marmite, just to be annoying. Yeah, not really
like
bothered.
it on some days, not on others. Well, that's okay.
But just if it's in something, fine. But I wouldn't seek it out.
I love Marmite.
I knew you would, because you're a licorice fan, and in my head, they're kind of the same.
Okay. Interesting.
I like licorice, but not Marmite. But I will have Marmite in things. So,
and there's this time of year in December and January, there is a lot of Marmite stuff around. Like Marmite crisps, Marmite crackers. We've got some Marmite. They're like puff, like What's-It shaped things, but Marmite. And I could eat that all day.
That's your Christmas dinner.
Not licorice, Marmite blondies at a friend's house recently. So it was like a blondie, but the base of it was kind of biscuity, or maybe like Rice Krispie base. And that bit had Marmite in. So it was that salty and sweet. That was quite good. Yeah. Anyway, on to the next question.
Next question. Kat asks, and we've sort of talked about this already, what is your favourite soundtrack to write to?
Okay, so what I do is I create a Spotify playlist for each thing that I'm writing. And it's like my vibe list, where I will go, oh, this sounds a bit like, if it was a movie and this scene in my book had like a soundtrack, it'll be this. So the book that I'm writing at the moment, Nightclub, I have a couple of soundtracks for it. One that is just full of complete 80s bangers, because I can imagine like my medieval style nights, running onto the Malay field to I Need a Hero by Bonnie Tyler,
classic.
Happening. And then I also have another soundtrack called Songs for the Shadow Daddies.
Okay.
Which is just all of those songs that you're a little bit like, this song sounds quite, intimate, but also a bit of a red flag.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I could probably name like 10 songs that are probably on there.
Yeah. It's a public Spotify playlist, because
I will
I've
have
shared
a look.
it with I always put things into a master world building document when I'm working with an editor, so that they can kind of go in and have a look at stuff. And there's always lots of pictures, lots of links to Pinterest boards, and links to Spotify playlists. So the playlists then have to be public. Yeah.
For someone who's proclaimed to be a lazy girl, you are far from a lazy girl.
It's only because I've conditioned myself not to
I
be
know,
lazy.
but you're saying things like master world building, and I'm going, oh, that sounds good. Like, never thought of it before. But I guess fantasy has its own kind of set of rules that you probably need
Yeah,
to
it's
keep
also like
track of.
it's always like having a series Bible. So I do call it my book Bible, and it just has basically everything in it, and also all of the things that were in the Pastel Water as well. So,
Mhm.
like for example, in the Wycherleys, we never talk about the fundamental structure of magic, but in the book we talk in the book Bible, it talks about different physical properties that the magic has. So the idea that iron is really important and ferrous oxides, and are we losing an atom? And actually, when we're performing magic in a duo, are we sharing electrons? And then the
Wow.
amplification of waves, so like sound waves. So when we perform magic as a coven, and there are like 12 of us, how is that amplifying the waves of magic? So it's all of those things that I nerd out on. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
then, yeah.
that's very cool.
that is very cool.
I um
I think
for
everyone does that to a point with research when it's like, I will deep dive on something and then you'll use it for 3 lines,
Yeah.
yeah.
but you needed to know and you needed to understand what was going on behind those three
Yeah.
lines for it to work.
And that's one of the reasons why I don't do research up front. I'll research something as it comes up. So
Yeah.
when it comes up, it's like, oh, okay, now I'm going to research that thing. So I remember I sat down to write The Witches, and literally the opening paragraph, it was like, and in this third age of magic, magic is unstable. And I'm like, third age of magic? When did the other two ages happen? I have no idea. So then I had to go and have a little look at like revisit English history and find, okay, if there was going to be two
Mm,
points of when magic changed, when would that have been? So like,
Yeah.
okay, so we got like Arthur and Merlin, that could be the first age of magic, and then the second age of magic is like the Middle Ages, when during the dark times,
mm.
when magic is slightly lost, and then third age of magic starts on this magical calamity that kind of coincides with the English Civil War. So it's like, okay, when did all of these things happen? And how can I kind of create a magical framework that goes over the top of English history
Hmm.
or British history?
That's very
Very
cool.
cool. Okay, final question. Is from Peter at Positively Horror on Instagram. I don't know if you're familiar with lovely Peter.
I'm not, but I'm going to go and follow him now.
Yeah, he is very
Yeah, he's
lovely.
great.
And he specifically for you, what, if any, changes did you make to your process between writing middle grade and writing YA?
So I don't think I changed my actual writing process, but I always I have like the Stephen King approach to writing. So first draft I write with the door closed, and it's just I write it for me and I nerd out. Second draft, I open the door and I invite the reader in. So that was when a different reader was invited in. It wasn't a middle grade reader; it was a
Mm,
YA reader, and it's thinking about all of the YA books that I've read. It's quite hard to think about when I was a young adult. Thinking about all of those things, and I've got young adults in my life, my kids,
mm,
although they're in their 20s now. So it's like thinking about them and inviting them in and writing a book for them,
mm,
rather than writing a book for me. And I always think that writing a book is like it's the long act of letting go. So you might initially start writing for you, but then once you invite your reader in, you're writing for you and your reader. And then when you share your manuscript with your agent, for example, first, then it becomes our book, Conrad. And then your editor and your publishing house, it becomes our book again. And you become less and less and less important in the book, in the actual like production and creative bit of the book from that stage onwards, because their influence is bigger. And then you eventually let it go out into the world, and then it becomes all of ours. And your reader becomes part of that experience. And it's just amazing to think that things that lived in your head then go and live in other people's heads and they interpret it in slightly different ways and they have different experiences and different relationships with those characters that you do. But also collectively, we all have an experience and a link through that book, through that magical thing that is a book.
Oh, that's
lovely.
beautiful.
Yeah, making
Yeah.
me emotional today.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to wrap up before we let you go, we're going to ask some very quick fire questions. So, who are you reading?
So I'm currently reading The Last Death Poet by Stephen Daly. It comes out in April. So it's an ARC copy. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it.
Fabulous.
Lovely. And what's coming up next for you?
So we've got Witcherleys 2. Obviously, it should be out now when this podcast airs. I've got something else coming out in September that has not been announced yet. And then I've got the first nightclub book coming out in October.
My
And
gosh.
then my first adult book that hasn't been announced either.
Oh my
that's
gosh.
out in March next year.
Wow. That is impressive. You must be so busy.
It's a bumper year.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying myself so much. Like I sometimes look at my work schedule and think that's a lot of work that I've got to do, but also I'm like, God, I'm enjoying it. Like it's the most fun ever. And
it's so good.
Yeah,
that's what it's all about.
Exactly.
Yeah. And lastly, where can we find more out about you online? Where are you?
So I'm mostly on Instagram.
Mhm.
So my handle is Annaliese Avery. I'm trying to do TikTok, but
We're all trying to do
we're all trying to
TikTok.
do
Yeah.
TikTok. Maybe we should call it Tricky Top. I don't know. It just feels quite exposing.
Yeah.
So, and I end up feeling like a fool. But that's a me thing. I've got to get over that because honestly,
I get what you mean. I
Yeah.
am too scared to go on TikTok. I don't know what it is about it, but I get what you're saying, that it like
Yeah.
feels a bit too exposing.
yeah, a bit weirdly exposing and performative
Yeah.
at the
And
same time.
it takes a lot of time. Things look fast and they're not. They take a lot of time. I'm in a phase where I've deleted it at the minute. So I'm still on there and I can still post because there's a thing called TikTok Studio that you can have on your phone that you can create and you can upload and you can like monitor your comments. But you can't scroll.
Oh, that's clever.
And I find that really useful because I can use it for what I need to do, but then I don't spend 15 minutes accidentally looking at like how to tie the perfect Christmas bow or finding out what, certain presidents of the United States have been saying this time. And actually, I think my mental health has probably upped a little bit for it.
Yeah.
So where it's really good for some things, I cannot be on it all the time because you just get lost in it.
I do. So one of the things I like to do is I like to collect things, like collect ideas. And so like I'll have Pinterest boards full of collecting things and I'll collect Instagram posts and TikTok posts into little folders that are like labeled for different books that I'm working on. If I'm like, oh, that's got the same vibes as my book, I'm sticking that in there.
Yeah.
So at the moment, my TikTok feed is just full of like medieval times in America, like just the men on horseback in their armor, or just any men on horseback in armor, or just in armor, or men.
And on that note, we should probably let Annaliese
maybe that's when I come
talking.
back and talk about all of the deleted history I need for the next
We just
book.
talk about men.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. You are
Thank
officially tied now with Melissa Welliver as one of the guests who's come back the most.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, it's been so lovely talking to you.
Likewise.
Good luck with all of the books.
Yeah, big year. Big year this year.
Exciting.
All good fun.
Lovely.
Hopefully.
Okay. Take care.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Browser history deleted.